Welcome to the zoology class. This is the first lesson in zoology, the living world. So there are variety of living organisms on this earth. When you are seeing this picture, you can see the variety of living organisms from single cell organism to a highly developed organisms like mammals. So in order to identify the organisms, we have to classify the organisms. Classification is very, very important. Okay. So in this lesson, we are going to study about the classifications of the organisms and what is the need of the classification, why we have to classify the organisms. So when you go for a supermarket, they are arranging the materials in an orderly manner. When you are going for buying a soap, and there is a special separate section for soaps, surf and all these things. And when you are going for buying eatables, the eatables are there in a separate arrangement. Okay, so this orderly arrangement is only to know, only to identify them easily. So classification is needed for identifying the organisms easily. So that is a very, very important point. Okay, now coming to the need for classification. Why we are classifying the organisms? First point is to study the living organisms in a convenient manner. And then phylogenetic tree among the different groups. And you can identify and differentiate closely related species. So some species, they are looking similar, but they are having some differences. Okay, so the few differences can be easily understood by classification. And know the variation among the species. Within the species itself, there are some variations are there. So all these things you can know based on the classification. In classification, there are two terms, taxonomy and systematics. What is taxonomy and what is systematics? First, taxonomy. Taxonomy is the science of arrangement of living organisms along with classification, description, identification, naming of organisms. Okay. So taxonomy is nothing but arrangement of organisms. We are arranging the organisms from single cell organism to multicellular organisms, and we have to name the organisms. So name in the sense scientific names. So in scientific names there are two names are given. One is genus name, the other is species name. So that is taxonomy. Here the father of taxonomy is Aristotle, and the father of modern taxonomy is Linnaeus. And the term taxonomy was coined by a scientist, Augustin Pyramus de Candolle. And now what is systematics? So this is somewhat different from taxonomy. Taxonomy, they are dealing only with classification, description, identification, naming of organisms. But systematics, in addition to these things, some other characters are also there. Not only identifying, not only describing the organisms, not only naming the organisms. We have to preserving, documenting evolutionary history of the organisms, environmental adaptations of the organisms, interrelationship between the species. All these things will be there in the systematics. So systematics are, when we are studying systematics, we are knowing more things about the organisms. We are knowing more characters about the organisms. Okay, now this is the cladogram. What is cladogram? It is the method of representing evolutionary relationship with the tree diagram called the cladogram. So in this tree diagram, organisms at last human beings have been evolved, and they are evolved from a common ancestors. So from the beginning, a new characters are formed. At each step there is a new characters. For example, in the first step, vertebrae is there. Vertebrae in the sense backbone, and then tetrapods are there. Tetrapods now 4 legs, and amniotic eggs which are having amniotic membrane. So they are found only in the birds, and the appearance of hairs, and bipedal locomotion, walking by 2 legs, that is there only in human beings. So based on the characters, appearance of new characters, new species is evolved. So this is cladogram. Now in the classification, there are 3 domains of life. So these scientists, Carl Woese, classify organisms into 3 categories: archaea, bacteria, eukarya. So this is a broad classification. The scientists classify the organisms into 3 major categories: archaea, bacteria, eukarya. First, what is archaea? Archaea in the sense halophiles and thermophiles. Organisms which are living in the extreme conditions, they are called archaea. Extremophiles, organisms which are living in extreme conditions. Halophiles in the sense, halophiles, animals which are living in high salt concentration. Some organisms which are able to live in saline water, that is, you can salt pan and all, if you go and observe salt pan, there the salt content of the water will be very more, and in that salinity only a few organisms can be survive. So the remaining organisms will be died. Okay, these halophiles are organisms which are able to survive in high saline conditions. Thermophiles, organisms which are able to survive in high temperature. Okay, these are all coming under archaea. Now coming under bacteria. So in this domain, bacteria domain, there are cyanobacteria. Cyanobacteria are actually autotrophic bacteria. Cyanobacteria are otherwise blue-green algae. And the next category is heterotrophic bacteria. Heterotrophic bacteria, they cannot do photosynthesis. They depend on other organisms for their food. Okay. So bacteria, 2 categories are there: cyanobacteria and heterotrophic bacteria. And the third domain is eukaryota. In eukaryota, fungi, animals, plants, alveolates, rhodophytes, chromis. So these are all the organisms coming under eukaryota. Okay. So in 3 domains of system, animals are classified into 3 main categories: archaea, bacteria, eukaryota. Okay, now coming to the next classification, 5 kingdom classification. In the 5 kingdom classification, these scientists classify organisms into 5 major groups: Monera, Protista, Plantae, fungi, Animalia. First, you must know what is Monera, what is Protista. So all these 2 are unicellular organisms only. But Monera are unicellular organisms with prokaryotic cell organization. Prokaryotic means they are having nucleus, but there is no definite nucleus. There is no definite nucleus, and also there is lack of a nuclear membrane around the nucleus. So they are Monera. Example for Monera is actually bacteria. Okay, now Protista. Protista are eukaryotic organisms. Okay, Monera are prokaryotic organisms, Protista are eukaryotic organisms, and they are having single cell, and some are in group of cells also there. Example for that is diatoms. Diatoms are unicellular algae. Unicellular algae. Okay, Monera are prokaryotic, Protista are eukaryotic. You must know what is prokaryotic and what is eukaryotic. In prokaryotic, the cell is having nucleus, but around the nucleus there is specific nuclear membrane. So for example is bacteria. Bacteria nucleus is there, but they are not fully enclosed by the definite nuclear membrane. Okay, the third category is Plantae. Plantae means plants. Fungi. Fungi are heterotrophic organisms. Photosynthesis cannot be done in fungi. There is no green. Okay, fungi are also one group, and then animalia. So these scientists classify organisms into 5 major groups: Monera, Protista, Plantae, fungi, animalia. Okay, now the 6 kingdom system. The 6 kingdom system, animals are classified into 6 categories. They are bacteria, archaea, protista, plantae, fungi, and animalia. In the 4 categories, the first 2, bacteria and archaea, are prokaryotes. Bacteria and archaea are prokaryotes. The remaining 4 categories, plantae, protista, fungi, and animalia, are eukaryotes. Okay, prokaryotic, the definition for prokaryote is they are having nucleus, but there is no definite nuclear membrane. In eukaryotes, there will be definite nucleus is there, and nuclear membranes will be there. That is the difference between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Okay, this is the sixth kingdom system. Bacteria, archaea, protista, plantae, eukarya, fungi, and animalia. Now coming to the next classification, 7 kingdom classification. Eubacteria, archaea, that is archaebacteria, 3rd protozoa, 4th chromista, 5th fungi, 6th plantae, 7th animalia. Okay, so this scientist classify the organisms into 7 major groups. Eubacteria in the first one. Eubacteria means bacteria. Archaebacteria, the organisms which are living in extreme conditions, that are archaebacteria. And then protozoa, they are single-celled eukaryotes. Protozoa are single-celled eukaryotes. Chromista are algae. Chromista, the 4th one, chromista means algae. And then fungi, fungi are heterotrophic organisms, mushrooms, all these things. And then plantae, animalia. So this is the 7 kingdom system. 7 kingdom system. Okay. Now, in a taxonomic hierarchy, when you are classifying the organisms, so this is the definite address for the organisms. For each and every organisms, we have to give the scientific name. The scientific name is the combination of genus name and species name. The last 2 names, genus and species. That is describing the scientific name, and then after that family, order, class, phylum, kingdom. So these are the taxonomic hierarchy. Okay, now in the end we are going to study about the human taxonomy. Human beings are belong to which species, which genus, which family. Okay, human beings, what is the scientific name of human beings? Homo sapiens. Homo is genus name, sapiens is species name. And human beings belong to the family Hominidae, belong to the order primates, belong to the class mammals, and human beings belong to the phylum Chordata and the kingdom Animalia. And these kingdoms coming under the domain Eukaryota. Okay, by this we can finish this lesson. The remaining part will be in the next class.